up, you all? My name is Corey, and I'm here with the KorTurn Entertainment Network. And I'm sitting here with Dee Lilly and Daryn Alexus, both who have set themselves up to be legends of our generation. How are you all doing today?
Good.
Pretty good.
Intro.
You all are definitely worthy of it. Definitely, I've had my eye on you all for a few months now. You all are doing some amazing things in the industry. I'm very excited to interview you all today.
Thank you.
No trouble. So, Daryn Alexus and Dee Lilly, how'd you all come up with those names?
Well, Daryn was given to me by my aunt who recently passed. Well, I guess it's been a couple of years now, but we were talking about like stage names or whatever, and she was just like, "Why don't you be Daryn Alexus?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then when she passed, it just felt right, so I went with it. Yeah.
Well, I came up with Dee Lilly. My actual last name is actually Lilly. My first last name is Lilly. But Dee is I was born D'Angelo Maurice Lilly, and like if you go around my family, everyone in my family calls me Dee. Like even when I met her, she thought this was like some girl name tattooed on my arm. So, but yeah, everybody calls me Dee, so I just kind of kept it like that and just used my last name. Yeah. Yeah, you feel me?
I thought it was like Daryn Alexus, and I was like, "Oh, is she Daryn? I don't know." Daryn, I got it. I got you. Cool. All right. So, well, who is Daryn Alexus?
Man, she's a singer from Washington. No, I'm kidding. Inside joke, kind of. Yeah. Well, I just think, you know what I'm saying? It's difficult for me to answer that question because I don't like to talk about myself a lot. But I would just say that I'm just a person who's just out here trying to do what I love, just trying to make a name for myself and create an actual definition. So when you hear Daryn Alexus, then I don't need to answer that question. You already know who she is. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Who is Dee Lilly?
Well, funny thing is, she was making an inside joke about me, but it's all good though. But nah, I mean, I'm just a person, another person out here, just trying to basically, do my craft, get better at it each day. I love, sit in the house and creating music. It's something that I've always been a part of. So, I'm just, a regular person, man, that just love to make music and stuff. So it's pretty much who I am, man.
Got that. Great. And I know both of you are from Washington, D.C. and attended Columbia College, Chicago. But how did you all meet officially?
Oh, I remember the exact day. It was my first day of high school, and I was with this girl named Adrian. And, he was being the character that he is. And he came over there, and he was like, "Hey, what y'all about to do?" And I had no clue who he was, but it's you had to be there to understand why it was funny. And so that was my first time ever seeing or meeting him ever. It was the hallway of my very first day of high school ever. And it was 2005? Six.
Yeah.
5.
Maybe
5. 2005, yeah. So that was my first time ever actually meeting him ever. Yeah.
Did you just go up and say, "Yo, let's do music"? Or what?
How the music thing happened. We didn't start doing music until our sophomore year, the end of our sophomore year of college. Wow. So that came about in just a random spirit of moment kind of thing. One day I was listening to Jasmine Sullivan or something, and she had this song called Silent Tears, and I was singing it all the time, and I was like, I want to write a song. And so I attempted to write one without a beat, and it was really bad. And then I went to YouTube. I started pulling beats off of YouTube because you know how producers put beats up.
Yeah.
So I started writing to those, and then suddenly one day he was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna produce," and I was like, "Whatever, no, you aren't." And he actually started producing, and then it just kind of came full circle.
Wow.
Yeah.
One heck of a story. It sounds super easy. That's right. Well, for okay. Well, how do you all describe your duo? I'll give that to you, D.
Our duo. It's funny because when I first started, making beats and stuff, she was the only artist that would actually, knew I even made beats or would even take my music. So, so the duo is pretty much like this. I kind of make songs and stuff. The funny thing is that it's crazy because we probably together only sat down together with her and me in a room making a beat from scratch probably 4 times. All the other beats come from me just they already have them made and stuff like that, and she'll just come in while I'm making one, and I'm like, oh, I like that. Then she'll start, writing something while I'm in the process of making it. Most times I'll be like, man, I was really thinking about giving that to somebody else, but then, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's a real good chemistry, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I started with her, like, we sucked together, you know what I'm saying? We definitely growing together. So, it's, it's a real good chemistry, because we started from the beginning together, so, yeah.
Now you're here. definitely see the chemistry. So you all definitely worked on Vintage Heart, Modern Love back into 2011, 2012. Which one?
We started actually working on it in 2011. Thank you. But it came out 2012, Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Okay. And how was it working on that project? I know it was like a first official project for both of you.
Yeah. Man, a lot. The songs I ended up with were not the songs we started out with. Yeah. Lord Jesus, I'm glad those songs are gone. I gave it that project actually started out as 10 songs, and I just cut, because it wasn't good to me. Like, they just were not good. Like, the tracks were decent, you know what I'm saying? Like, his part, his half. Right. But, even now I'm still working on my songwriting skills, and at the time it just, it's not coming. It wasn't right. I couldn't put that out there like that. I couldn't be out there like that. So I ended up with the last 5, and I was happy with it enough to the point to put those out and say, okay, this is me.
And so you kind of mentioned about how you got into singing and songwriting, but how did you maybe write your first song? Was that a difficult challenge for you?
I didn't think too much about it. I think it's harder for me to write songs now than it was when I first started, in a sense of like trying. Like when I first started, I didn't think I was weak. You never do. So I was like, oh, I'm about to write. Like, yeah, I'll say this, I'll say that. Cool, And it worked. And then it didn't help that, like, the first song that I ever really put out was, like, this remix to Nicki Minaj that I recorded in my friend's room. And shout out Blacksmith one time, though. Shout out Blacksmith one time. He recorded that. And I put my own, like, lyrics to it. And then I put it up. And it hit like a couple thousand views, and I was shocked because that was the first song I ever like kind of wrote and put out. And obviously people just listened to it because it was Nicki, but still it was pretty cool. So I was like, shoot, I'm a songwriter now. But it's so weak. It's so weak. And now that I understand what it takes to make a song and make it actually good, I try much harder, which is probably not right to do either, but it's cool.
Definitely still have talent in songwriting, for sure. More than me. I tried it before. Believe me, it's not an easy task. And as far as you, I know that you wear a few creative hats. So can you tell us what those are and how you came to doing those?
Well, you know what? I'm more along the lines of the producer. I do a lot of the technical stuff, which it comes to mixing. Whether I'm in the studio mixing, if somebody's mixing and I hear the record back and I don't really like it, I don't like how our voice sits in the track. I'll say something. And I also again, I'm more behind the scenes making the music type of the deal. And sometimes she'll come back to me with a song and she'll be like, "Is this good?" I used to be scared to tell her I'm not feeling it because I didn't want her to get down on herself. But I've become, a lot better now because it's more serious that I have to tell her if a song ain't right, that it's just not right. So I'm more the person that just kind of, do a lot of the behind the scenes kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my man Blacksmith legit one time though.
Don't you also play the piano as well?
You know what? Let's go ahead and address. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and address the. I'm gonna address the worst situation first. Singing. I went to Duke Ellington for vocal music. I even said it on one of my beat tapes. I had a whole little monologue in the beginning of it. I went there for singing. And when I got there, because before you go to high school, and when you're the only one that's singing in your neighborhood, they telling you sound good. You like, oh man, this I could really do this. Then I got to school, and then the first person I heard sing was this guy named Kevin Ross, man. And I was like, you know what, maybe this ain't for me. So I still didn't hit. So I started taking the piano pretty serious. And then one time I got to Columbia, Daryn had told me, you know what, I got to tell you something. I don't think singing is your strong point. Basically saying that maybe that's not something that you should do, but I do think producing is what you should do. So basically, I never knew that back then because I wanted to be a singer so much that actually really paying attention to, the piano and the theory of music would actually help me right now because, I never knew that I would probably be producing music, what I'm saying, making records for people. So, I mean, it was pretty good. It was heartbreaking, but it was cool though, you feel me?
I definitely feel you. Yeah, I tried taking two. I put up a few YouTube covers and it didn't get 1,000 views, but it got a few. Not even 100. I think it got 100 like literally yesterday, but it's been up for 2 months. So believe me, you probably sing a little bit better than I do. Probably do. But I know that you all also both went to Duke Ellington High School for the Arts, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So they focus on more like classical music, correct?
Yeah,
So as far as like the training there, like what kind of training did you all get there, and how did that help you all develop as artists to go into the field?
You want to go first? All right.
Well, because mine's short and sweet. The training that happened at Duke, it was pretty cool. Like it was a really competitive type of environment, but you still had like friends there as well. But what it actually helped you with is it helped me become more confident because I used to stand up and sing, and I remember this one R. Kelly solo I had called "I Believe I Can Fly," and I stood up, man, and I sung that thing like I sounded like Luther Vandross or something like that. And everybody just started laughing. She wasn't even laughing. Like, they was on the floor just rolling at me. So it helped me have, like, tough skin. To be like, all right, man, people ain't going to like it. But, yeah, see, they still laughing. You see, remember that moment. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it really helped far as, like, the skill-wise, like, especially in the, competitive, being more confident in what you do. Because I'm a real confident person. Like, even my stuff can suck. But I'm gonna think I'm the best every single time. Like I'm that guy that will be in the studio with Pharrell and be like, he should be lucky to be in the studio with me. I'm that kind of guy. Okay. So it's real. I mean, it's real cool. Yeah. So I mean, that's just how I am. But classically and stuff like that, it really helps, especially as far as the piano and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
For me, to this day, I wish I had just taken it a little bit more seriously. But it was definitely like really, really good training there, and I didn't even realize it until I was gone. Like, oh, like that's dope. Like the things that I was learning when I first started Columbia, I was a vocal performance major, and the things that I was doing here in college were things that I had done already my freshman year of high school. So like you can already look at that and think like, this is what I'm doing here at 18 was the same thing I was doing at 14, 15. So it was just like, it just showed you like the dynamics of exactly what the school had to offer, sight singing, reading music theory, all that stuff. We learned it and I knew it, you know what I'm saying? I still know it to this day. And I know it's because of Duke. So I definitely appreciated that for sure.
So did you all like start singing and songwriting there, or did you all get into it at college?
Well, he did.
Our class had a song, our class song, and I co-wrote it. I mean, back then I was really into, songwriting, but over time, I don't know why, I just kind of fell out of love with it. But I still have a respect for actually, songwriting and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. Back in the day, I started at Duke writing songs and stuff. I had this little Radio Shack keyboard, subconsciously making beats and stuff like that, little dumb stuff. But I wasn't really making beats. I was just kind of just trying to play the piano. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you just won Biggest Mouth.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the biggest things that you can do here at Columbia as a musician. And you, earlier this year, were noted as one of the top 15 producers in Chicago to be recognized in 2013. Do you all feel inspired or pressured, or how do you all feel about that? I know it's a very large undertaking, an honor.
Oh my gosh, for me, like I couldn't even believe it when like I saw my name when they were announcing the winners, because at the time I was asking my drummer Sam, I was like, yo, like, do you think we have a chance? Like, and not only did I ask him, I asked my bass player Eric, I asked my guitarist Nate. Like, they were like, yeah, because at the time of the performance, I kind of like blacked out. I didn't even notice anything that happened. I didn't notice if we had lights. My guitarist was like, oh man, I messed up. I didn't even hear him mess up. Like, I don't remember it. Like, I don't remember it. So when they called my name, it was just like so surreal. And like now, like I don't want to say everywhere I go, but almost everywhere at Columbia, people are like, "Hey, aren't you that one girl or it's like, "Oh my God, like I haven't gotten to see you, like congratulations," and it's just been kind of like overwhelming and really exciting. But now now it's like, okay, like no matter what I do, I have to top that, or I have to like at least do something equivalent. Like I can't just be like, all right, I got a show, I'm gonna just sing a couple songs and I'm gonna dip. Like I have to actually like really practice for it. You know what I'm saying? Because now there's an expectation level that people have for me. So if I'm like, oh, I have a show, they're expecting it to be like
Top notch.
right. So it's a lot of pressure now, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Now about the producer thing, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even know that, the site is called Ruby Hornet. I didn't even know they did any kind of list like that. My man Blacksmith, he had tweeted me the link to it, and I had went to go check it out. And I mean, it was pretty cool being up there. I don't know. I don't think to me it didn't feel any added pressure. It was just kind of, to me, it was just kind of like, because I work super hard. Like anybody that know me could tell you, man, like I started when they first heard the first beat of mine to one of my beats today. I work super hard. So I think it was just kind of like a deserved thing, something that's like I'm starting to see, something I deserve to have because I work hard for it. I try to, get out here and work with, artists, the artists that I can get in contact with. So, but it also, it put me in a mindset that I don't ever want to disappoint, if that makes any sense, So, I mean, to that level, it didn't put any kind of added stress on me. It just made me feel good. And like, maybe I could do this. Somebody's out there watching me. So it was pretty cool.
I compare you to Pharrell and you to like Beyonce because I have a limited knowledge of music. But with that being said, what do you all feel that maybe your like competitors are, or who do you all look up to? But along with that, like who do you all who are you all inspired by? But what do you all feel that your genre lacks, and what do you bring to the table?
Well, I'm going to say it off top. I look up to people like, I look up to people like Pharrell, the Neptunes. I look up to, people like Just Blaze and the Justice League, people like that, producers like that. Again, I look up to somebody like Kanye West as well. But here in Chicago, that's a given, kind of everybody knows that. But be honest with you, to me, when I hear their production, it's like what I do sometimes when I make beats and stuff, I would try to mirror my production, turn mine's on, turn it off, then turn Pharrell's on, and something is lacking, something is missing. I haven't made it there yet, and that's the thing. I'm like, what is it? Is it because in Pharrell's production, I really studied. It's very minimum production, very minimum sounds. But it's how he does it, the sounds that he chooses. So, and with Just Blaze, he uses a lot of heavy sounds, big drums and stuff like that. I'm like, man, how do I get my stuff to sound like that? So in that department, I'm still learning, and right now I feel like that's what I'm lacking. But what I'm bringing to the table is that I feel like I've been blessed with the ability to pick up on music information very quickly. So right now it's not to a point like I'm not going to be able to learn it because I know I'm going to be able to learn it if I sit down and do it. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
For me, anybody who knows me personally will know that Beyonce is like the goddess of music to me. I'm not going to go back in time and pick some legendary person, and no disrespect to them, but to me, some people may get upset. I personally feel that Beyonce is the best female artist or singer performer in R&B especially of all time. Like there's no one that put on a show like her to me, and I feel like if I had to compare her to anyone, it would have to be Michael Jackson. And that's because like their performances and their shows are top notch. And one thing I used to do when I would try to write a song is I would ask myself, would Beyonce sing this? And if I felt like the answer to that question was no, I scrapped it. I didn't want anything else to do with the song. I've veered away from that as far as songwriting now, but when it definitely comes to like performance levels, that is the pinnacle of high. And if I want to be great, I have to do what she can do. And what she can do, people don't understand exactly how hard it is, which is sing, dance, move, entertain, and be on key, maintain your breath, maintain your stamina, do tricks, and entertain people without looking like I'm thinking about all of this stuff. Like, I mean, it's amazing, really, what her and Michael could do. So I definitely look up to her and admire her. But of course I love Michael. Of course I love Lenny Williams. Of course I love Tina. Of course I love the Supremes. I mean, I can only do what I can do because of what they did. So, but honestly, for me, the people that inspire me most are my friends. The other people at this level that are doing the same thing as me, that are great at what they do. They inspire me to watch them say, I have a dream, and then to go for it. Mm-hmm. That tells me, like, I can go for it too. And especially when I see them doing well, and when I see them having a lot of people at their shows, and I'm like, I can do it too. You know what I mean? Yes. They make me feel like I can do it. And that is the most inspiring thing to me right now.
Great. My favorite track for me was "Humble Beginnings" off your Obey project. There's a intimate insight into how you got your start in the industry. How did you start with that, and how do you feel that you've progressed from that project?
All right, so like you said, you heard "Humble Beginnings." This is how it started. I was sitting in the Dwight Laws, and I was like, man, I was kind of depressed because singing wasn't my thing. And I was like, man, you know what? So I woke up one day. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to produce. This was like at the end of the spring semester 2010. That's when I said that. So I started going to Guitar Center heavy, looking at this equipment and stuff. And I was like, man, I'm about to just get this Phantom right here. Like, I went in Guitar Center. They was trying to talk about all these plugins, and they probably was looking at me like, man, what are you asking all these questions for? You asking some of the stupidest questions. I probably was. But so I came back from, took a trip to the Philippines, and I came back. And, I started making, my first, my beats and stuff. And like I said, I have no shame of it. To me, they suck. But over time, from then to now, my beats, I'm like super excited with the progress of like my production, because I know I definitely know where I came from. I couldn't, like, I had my drums was just not a strong point. My man Blacksmith even like was listening to one of my songs. I don't mean to keep saying Blacksmith a lot, but that's my man. So I got to keep saying it. He's a huge part in what my music. So he was listening to one of my songs, and he was like, fam, I mean, it's cool, but them drums, nah, that ain't it. That's pretty much it. So it's definitely been a huge progression. I'm super excited where I've came from.
Okay, and for you, Miss Alexus, as far as Vintage Heart Modern Love 1, what journey did that bring you on, and what did you learn from that journey, and how does that affect your second project?
For one, Vintage Heart Modern Love was too much of the same song. I felt like it was one big long song. It was too slow. It was dreary. It was drabby. It didn't give me anything personally. Like, when I don't listen to it, and I never have. I have never listened to that project before. Like, when the song was done, I was like, cool, it's done. Cool, it's done. I literally have never sat down and listened to that project straight through. I just haven't. I couldn't, and I won't. And what I've learned is just how much I need to be me. Like, when I did Vintage Heart, I was trying to write what I thought like what Chicago people would like, which I don't think I succeeded at that either. But I was trying to write a certain kind of vibe, and that vibe wasn't necessarily me. And I feel like that shows on the CD. Like, I don't see myself in any of those songs at all, except maybe Iniquity, which is probably why it's my favorite song and the favorite of others. And so from that journey, from that project to this one, it's way more versatile. My whole goal was to be versatile. My whole goal was to show that I love every genre. So you got pop, you got, like, dance pop, you got R&B, you got soul, you got rock, everything is on there. We even got like a trap song on there. Like, it's real. Like, it's every single genre, and that's why I'm so happy about it. So I feel like that's what I came out of. Like, I have to be me, and that means being all over the place. If that's what you want to say it, like, because that's how I am, and that's what I like. Yeah. So that was my journey from there to now.
Okay. All right. So you all mentioned your first projects and how you all have developed from those. What is your personal philosophy about music? What should music do for the listener, and what does it do for you as artists?
I'll go first because it's really short. I'll try to keep it that way. It hasn't been really short, but people would disagree with me, but I think you should just let music be what it is. And then some people will say, like, but then it wouldn't be music. Like, music is meant to be judged. And it's like, yeah, like, obviously, like, that's why people have favorite artists and favorite songs. But I feel like sometimes people expect too much from music, and, like, they take it too seriously sometimes. And I feel like I don't, and I won't ever. I'm not going to take music that seriously, like, it has to sound this way or it's not good, like, or this kind of song is not good. Like, it's a song, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? And therefore it's fine, like, you should just let music just be. Listen to it, you like it or you don't, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not that complicated to me, and that's just one thing that I feel.
All time music should move you. I'm not gonna lie to you. Music should put you in like, I know, be honest with you, I know when to listen to a Adele album. Not gonna lie to you. It's pretty sad. It rock, of course, you know what I'm saying? I could tell by her numbers, it rock. But I know exactly when to listen. I'm not gonna really be blazing Adele if I'm, riding down Lakeshore, 80-degree weather with a drop top Audi or something like that, and I'm trying to be happy. Adele ain't this time for that moment. So I think music in general, whatever kind of music you making, this is my philosophy when making music. I listen to a song and I immediately place that song in a setting. Where can this song be played at? And I think a lot of artists, don't really pay that much attention to that actual aspect of it. It's placing your song in a setting, like, where can this song be played at? What space does this song have in the world, or a setting or a time? Is it a winter song or a summer song? Stuff like that. Those are the things that I kind of, go over and when listening to music and stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right, yeah, but I think we all had that experience where we're on the floor crying with Adele at the wrong time. me when I'm driving specifically, but how have you all learned about yourselves through your music? What has it taught you about yourself in your personal lives?
I think a lot of the times when I was writing songs, I didn't even know that I was writing about myself. But then, like, after the song was done and I would listen to it, I'd be like, I relate to this. Like, this is me. Because a lot of times I don't write my personal story, and anyone who listens to my music and knows me can see that. But I think in my journey in making music, I am learning so many new things about myself that I didn't even know was true. And writing songs forces me to have to be this kind of, like, bold and forthcoming person, whereas I think naturally I'm a little bit introverted. Like, I'm probably, like, depending on my mood, I'm probably not going to be the most social, like, hey, what's your name? My name's Alexis, let's be friends kind of person. And making music, I have to be that way. And it's teaching me to be that way and to actually like to be that way. So it's bringing me out of my shell, I think. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Music, what it's teaching me about myself is that pretty much that it's something and pretty much, like I'm trying to tell you, I was a singer. And at that time, I felt like, man, there is nothing in music that I am good at. I can't do anything. I mean, the person I'm close to told me that singing ain't my thing. So I was like, man, I got to do something. But, again, producing and stuff, what it's taught me is that, it's something that I'm really good at. It's something that I'm really, passionate about. And it's, it's in general, it let me know that I'm a real focused person, because I'm not like a real, like, I'm not that guy that you want to sit down and have religious conversations with. I'm not that guy. I don't care about it. I don't really care about your opinions or your views. I just don't really care to have those kind of conversations. But when it comes to, like, music or anything like sports, I'm that guy that's at the forefront of the conversations like that. So what music has told me is that I am passionate about something. You know, I just had to find what I was passionate about. So yeah.
My favorite track, I think, from you all is "Don't Be Scared," and I don't know how I got there, but I was listening to it. And I think I listened to it for about a straight hour before I stopped playing it because I was like, "This is so beautifully produced and sung." So how did you all come up with that track, and what does it mean for you all?
That track is a song that I wrote to myself, honestly, because I'm the biggest scaredy cat in the world. Like, he'll tell you he hates it. Like, he yells at me, he screams, "If you're not gonna do it, Lex, no one else will. If you don't like it, nobody else will." Da-da-da. Like, and it's just like I used to always be so scared. Like, no one's gonna like my music. Like, no one's gonna like me. Like, I have to, like, being a musician is probably the most vulnerable job in the world because everybody is looking at you and waiting to hear what you have to say. And if they don't like it in the first 2 seconds, they hate you. Like, "Oh, this is trash." And then you're trash forever. Like, you only have, like, that's how it feels if it's not really that way. Like, as a musician, like, it gets real when you putting yourself out there. And so it was and sometimes still is so hard for me to just put myself out there and do it. Like, even with Biggest Mouth, I was so scared to even audition until I didn't go to the very last day at like 9 p.m. at the very end when I was just like, all right, forget it. I'm just going to go. And think about if I didn't go. You know what I'm saying? Just think if I didn't even go to the audition. So that song was just really talking to myself and saying, don't be scared. Like, one of the lines is, if Martin Luther King didn't do what he did, if he got scared, where would the world be? So one thing that my pastor always says is that our destiny is tied to so many other destinies. If I don't do what I'm supposed to do, if I'm too scared to do what I'm supposed to do, then somebody out there who was supposed to see me do that won't do what they need to do to change the world. You know what I mean? Yes. So it's just like important. So sorry, I went on for a long time again.
No, it's cool. Be honest with you, again, it was just, for me, it was just like another regular day. My beat making process, everybody know I play the piano, that knows me, that know I make beats. I start with the piano. I don't really care. It could be a sound. That's what I start with. And I was just, sometimes I just start playing stuff. I'm never going into like, I want to make this certain thing. I just start playing something. Mm-hmm. And if I like it, I'm going to keep it. So, I had started playing it. And then, this is one of those times that I was actually making the song, the beat, while she was actually writing it. And be honest with you, I'm not a big lyrics guy. Like, I kind of listen to lyrics on like the maybe the third or fourth listen, maybe never. But when I heard this song, "Don't Be Scared," like, I kind of heard it, then I like kind of caught on some lines that she said, and I was just like, man, if somebody listened to this song, man, you actually said some stuff in this song, man. It's pretty good. So, I mean, again, that's pretty much like how it, came about, and how we had started making it.
Last but not least, do you all have any inspirational words for the viewers of the KorTurn Entertainment Network?
Exactly what we talked about a few minutes ago. Do not be scared. Like, if there's anything that like you want to do, but it's fear is what's stopping you, like, just overpower it. Like, you're going to be scared as you do it, and you're going to be scared every time. So if you're waiting for fear to go away, it won't go away ever. Speaking from experience, for me, that's the case. So just do it. Jump out there. Jump off the bridge. Not literally, obviously.
I mean, just to kind of piggyback on what she says, definitely pretty much like, don't be scared to do anything. Like, if you believe in something, if you believe something is destined for you to do, if you believe that you should be in music, you should be a lawyer, you should be a manager, do it. Just go out there and do it, because the worst thing you can do is not do it. The clicheest line to me is that you never know something until you try it. That's like so true, because I could have just said, I'm not going to do music anymore because I got laughed at real bad in front of like 80 people just laughing at me. I mean, not even trying to hide it, just laughing at me. But at that moment, that was kind of like a wake-up call, because to me, that didn't do anything for me. I was just like, all right, cool. Well, you know what? I didn't sound that great, but I still should do music. So just keep pushing for like what you believe in. Work super hard. be passionate about it, because when you practice brings confidence, confidence brings passion. So definitely just do it, man.
All right, well, Daryn Alexus and Dee Lilly, thank you all for coming out with us today to talk with us for a little bit. And I hope that you all will stay tuned for further information and further videos from the KorTurn Entertainment Network. And follow us at the KorTurn on Twitter. And please be sure to check out our website at KorTurnEntertainment.com. Again, I'm Corey Turner, and we're over and out. Peace.